What's up, everyone? It's your buddy Sebby D from the Cigars, Beer, and Whiskey Show.
I'm Cass. How are you?
So, another edition of the show today. And somewhat stuff to talk about here because right now we're excited for our new venture that's going to be happening here coming up in August. August 9th, we have been invited to Stettler Fest. And we encourage everyone, all of our viewers and everyone in Edmonton and surrounding areas to join us at Stettler Fest. We're going to have our very own exhibit booth there. We're going to be there signing autographs, doing YouTube Live, taking tours of their local brewery, as well as there's a steam engine train
really cool.
going on there with some Cowboys doing some shows there and stuff like that. There's going to be, I think there's a rodeo happening as well there for Stettler Fest. And their mayor has invited us to be their guest at Stettler Fest. So we're going to be there on August 9th from 12 until 7. Like I said, doing autographs, doing live video feeds, things like that. So if you want to come and join us and meet us, sign some autographs, take some pictures with us, and enjoy the whole Stettler Fest with us, come on down August 9th, and we'll be there. So
cool.
The other agenda is, did you watch the game the other night?
No.
You didn't watch the game the other night?
Don't know who won.
I believe the score was 5-2. Either 5-2 or 4-2. But the Oilers won game 1 of second round against the Vegas Knights. So they've got one up on them. And I when I was watching the game though, I really found that the Vegas Knights weren't as fast and weren't as out there as the Kings were.
Oh, yeah.
Like didn't put up very much of a competition, and now they have Pickard in net.
Okay.
Skinner's hasn't been in net in about, I think this will be the 5th game now in a row that Skinner's taken the bench.
Yeah.
Don't know what's going on with him. I think there's been a lot of maybe talks and controversy of him losing his edge kind of thing right now, temporarily, hopefully.
Yeah.
I have no idea if he's going to come back as a starting lineup because right now Pickard is actually on a hot streak, and I think the coach would be in their best interest is to keep that hot streak going until Pickard does show signs that
he wants to play again.
He wants to play, or it's time for him to take a break, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I don't know if they're saving Skinner for round 3.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're saving him for the finals of what's going on with Stanley Cup. I think there's still a lot of Canadian teams in it because I know Ottawa Senators is out because when is it Ottawa Senators and Toronto? I think it was Toronto with Ottawa. Toronto knocked them out, and I don't know. I think Winnipeg Jets is gone.
Okay.
They were out first round, so I believe we still have. We still have the Oilers. We still have Toronto. I want to say, and then you could probably Google this. I'm not too sure, but there's still a lot of Canadian teams going on right now. So Western and Eastern Conference. But it looks to me like if the Oilers keep this up, they're going to win the Western Conference again, and hopefully, and I know that probably a lot of people are like saying, "Don't jinx it," knock on wood, whatever the case may be. I'm sorry, I'm just excited. I think they've knocked on the Stanley Cup for I believe it's been like 4 or 5 years in a row now. You know what I mean? Maybe even 6. I just feel it's time.
Yeah, it's time to come home
I
now.
feel it's time to either keep the cup in Canada
Or belongs.
or have the Stanley Cup home here in Edmonton.
Yeah.
One or the other. I would be happy with either or.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at this point in time, I feel that the Stanley Cup, it's overdue for Canada because it's been 30 years since the Stanley Cup's been home in Canada.
Maybe I don't remember.
And I believe I've heard that around. I know that you're not a big hockey fan. I get it.
Used to be a hockey fan,
but what turned you around? Like what?
Oh, it's after everything started, we started losing. So now we're watching anymore. So
Like being in a bottom 8 all the time, kind of thing,
like that,
or what?
Yeah, something like that.
But now it's been 6 years.
Yeah,
5 or 6 years now. Like it hasn't boosted up your interest level yet.
No.
Well, I just before I was just watching bits and pieces of hockey. Now, for the past couple of years now, I've been showing a lot of interest with it, and just keeping track on what's going on, mainly during the playoffs.
Yeah.
Regular season, it's like, oh, is the Oilers still in it? Oh yeah, they're still in it. What's going on with the Oilers now? Regular season. Oh, they're actually they actually, I think they're top 3 in the National Hockey League.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? Right. So I was like, holy crap, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I felt that if I not watched the regular season, like it was like I would jinx it kind of thing, because every time I watched a game of the regular season, they would lose.
Yeah.
So I just kept away from the regular season. I just waited until the Stanley Cup playoffs, or the playoffs started. So, but and then we had, like, it's all over the news. Our Prime Minister visited Donald Trump.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. What came about that?
Came about that it'll be a never, never, never thing on us being partners in the 51st state.
Oh, well, see, we already knew that.
Yeah, we already knew that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but how? Like, I know I've seen video clips of their meet, that they've had on the news and stuff like that. I just found that their attitudes were about the whole thing. It's just I felt like Carney was being more friends with Trump than anything. They weren't. It
was a first start meeting. It was just a friendly meeting, and there was no. There was never going to be any talks of trade, because Trump keeps bringing up 51st state, but there'll be talks of meetings when Trump stops talking about us being the 51st state.
Yeah. We got my son playing the hockey stick.
Yeah. With a gun.
It's funny. But it just, I looked at video clips, but it looked like it was just it was more of just trying to be friends rather than negotiations.
Yeah.
But negotiations could have happened off camera.
Oh, you never
know what I mean? In a private meeting, right? But see, because remember when Ukrainian president came to the White House?
Yeah.
And how he acted in front of the president, like defending himself and defending his country, things like that. And then Donald Trump was trying, and then Donald was criticizing about his clothing attire and stuff like that. I don't understand why Mark Carney wasn't talking in that type of attitude. Like, what makes you think Canada's going to be 51st state? What makes you think you don't need Canadian resources and stuff like that, when you've been, for the past, I don't know how many years, have been getting Canadian resources? And if you've had a problem with the way that we've charged your country for those services, why haven't we had a sit-down talk for a better negotiation about it? You know what I mean? A better deal, a better pricing, stuff like that. There's no talks like that.
No.
I don't understand these politicians where they talk a lot of shit when they're in our country.
Yeah.
behind the podium.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about this and that, but when they're right in front of the person, you know,
chicken the same.
they don't have the cojones
Mm-hmm.
to tell what's really up, like what they're really truly feeling about this person.
Mm-hmm.
And I give the Ukrainian president props for doing that.
Oh yeah.
He stepped up
Mm-hmm.
and was arguing with Trump,
Mm-hmm.
and I applauded him for that. He's sticking up for his country. I didn't see that with Mark Carney. I don't care if it's the first visit. I don't care if he's trying to, you know, have a first visit friends and shake hands or give each other hugs or whatever the case may be. You're there to represent Canada and bring up the issues of tariffs,
Mm-hmm.
the issues of pricings, of deals that and making it totally clear
Yeah.
to his face
Yeah.
with an attitude, like a strikeful attitude. What makes you think Canada's going to be 51st state? Because we're not. Like, why can't he have that type of an aggressive attitude? You know, you keep telling reporters, you keep telling your country, you keep telling Canada, oh, you need to be 51st state in order to get protection from the U.S. There's not that much oomph like that.
There was an oomph, but he was saying we'll never become 51st state.
But the way that he said it, though, was very gentle. Was like as if he was petting a kitty cat.
We're supposed to pet a kitty cat because Mr. Trump is so gentle. He needs treat like a little puppy dog or anything like that.
I don't. But that's the thing. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
When someone's threatening to take over a province or wanting to take over my country,
mm-hmm.
I would act in an aggressive manner.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? I would act in an aggressive manner because look at the way look at the way Trump talks to the reporters, anyways. It's like, oh, you shut your mouth, you do this, you do that, blah 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 blah. He has no respect. So why should we give him the puppy dog respect of like nice and gentle, blah 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 blah? Uh-huh. It's like, you know what? If you don't remove your tariffs,
mm-hmm.
I will guarantee you, Canada will stick up for themselves to the very fullest, and it's going to look bad for the U.S.
Canada has,
all
the protection in the world right now.
I know. He says he dissed our military. He says we don't have a military.
We have a military. Yeah, I know.
We have one of the biggest militaries in like actually on the globe practically right now.
Yeah.
One of them, one of the biggest.
Yeah, we're not really. We're more like protectors than a military and fighters.
But we don't send our troops in for a death wish.
No,
we send our troops in for peacekeeping, for protection to keep the peace.
Yeah,
he sends his troops in for blood and gore. You know what I mean? To attack and be like, we're going to attack this country. We're going to attack that country. We're going to do this if they come onto us. We're never like that with our military.
Because we talk before we fire.
Exactly. That's the difference between our country and Donald Trump in the U.S. Donald Trump is representing his country as if he's Rambo. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, every other country's have
like, but this isn't a Rambo movie. This is lifestyle. Yeah. And like, honestly, if I was on the battlefield, okay, no one's fired yet. No one's shot their guns yet.
No.
And I was on the battlefield, and my enemy came up to me saying, we want to talk peace. We have no weapons on us.
Mm-hmm.
We have nothing. No weapons, no nothing. And then you confirm with your sniper, because it's safety, you confirm with your sniper that there's no one around, and you confirm with your drones and your planes and stuff like that with the heat sensors or whatever it is, that there's no other bodies around that area that's trying to hide or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they can find that with the technology that we have nowadays. If my enemy came up like that and it was confirmed that it was safe, and he or she is like turning around with no weapons, no nothing, and then they get a pat down and all that other shit, and he want to talk peace,
no problem.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm in for peace.
Like look at what they said about Putin's army. They didn't want to go to war. They didn't want war for Ukraine. But they were ordered to. They were ordered to fire on innocent people, men, women, and children, to take over And that's what really blows my mind is that the military, his own military,
Yeah.
didn't want to kill.
Because half of the Russians and half the Ukrainians are family.
Mm-hmm.
There's family. There are people who are in the war. There's family there and everything. They don't want to fight.
If you were military,
yeah,
and you were ordered by your commanding officer
mm-hmm.
to shoot to kill line of sight, which means
mm-hmm.
if as soon as you see your enemy
with guns and everything like that, yeah.
No, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's line of sight, shoot to kill. And it happened to be your neighbor. It happened to be someone that you knew of. You knew from before, like you went to college or something, but they moved to Ukraine, or they moved to Russia, and you stayed in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Would you kill him if you were under orders by your commanding officer from line of sight, shoot to kill? And you knew this person, and you had a long history of college and all that stuff, friendship in high school. Would you kill him?
If I'm ordered to, I would have to, yeah. If I was ordered to.
I would disobey orders, and I wouldn't. I would disobey.
I would shoot, but I would probably miss him. So just not
just to say that you shot, you tried.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't, because yes, okay, I'm under orders. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Like disobeying a direct order, then exalt me from the military. But at least I just saved my friend's life. Yeah. For now.
Mm-hmm.
For now, anyways. Mm-hmm. If someone else shot him, well, then that's life history. Yeah. That's life's course.
Yeah.
But at least I wasn't the one that pulled the trigger.
True.
I can go to bed at night knowing that I don't have that guilt.
Yeah.
That I don't have to call his wife or call his mother a week down the road saying, you have to bury your son because I just killed him.
Yeah.
Why did you kill him? I was under orders. Well, you could have disobeyed the order.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Trump has such a big ass mouth saying that he doesn't need our military. Our military sucks. And it's saying right in front of the prime minister.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, Carney, why are you not retaliating and speaking up for your country and saying, well, excuse me, President Trump, but as prime minister, I am very confident and very happy that our military is strong as ever and they can hold their own.
Mm-hmm.
They've had the right training for many years.
Oh, yeah, we have winter training.
We have so much training going on. We have so many men and women risking their lives on a daily basis. Our military is perfect the way that it is, and it's as strong as ever.
Oh.
He doesn't do that.
No,
he just sits there and is like, just looks at him. I'm like, if you're the prime minister, stand up for your freaking country and stop letting Trump diss your country right to your face in front of the media.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, see, and I was talking to you off camera before about how I was Googling how to even run for mayor or run for city council or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I had that opportunity, I would.
Oh, yeah.
If I had the 25 votes or the 25 signatures, the 100 signatures, whatever the case may be for the standard, I would. And I'd probably get those signatures too.
Yeah.
Because my interpretation of politics is that you can't just say it and not act on it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of politicians have done.
Mm-hmm.
Especially our new prime minister and our old prime minister. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, he brought down the carbon tax. Our gas prices are lower.
Mm-hmm.
But they're also saying that it's bad for the economy that the gas is at like 10 cents cheaper than it should be. You know what I mean? They're saying,
I don't think so, no.
But I don't think it is either, because the more people going to the pumps, the more money is being made.
Yeah.
They're paying for that cheap gas. They're paying for that cheap cost. Revenue will go up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Money-wise.
Yeah.
And they're going to make their money.
Oh, yeah.
It may not be as quick as it was with the higher gas price.
Yeah.
So like if you put like $40 in, your $40 is 10 cents to 20 cents worth higher than $1.17 or whatever the case may be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I want politicians to act on their words. I want our prime minister to act on their words, and the only thing he's done so far is lower gas price. Thank you, Carney, for that. or whoever's responsible for that, thank
Yeah.
you. But there's still a lot to do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's still a lot to do.
It's only been in
And
power
he
for a couple
had
weeks.
his prime opportunity on Tuesday when he met with Trump.
Yeah.
He had a prime opportunity to earn those votes that he won. And I bet you Polyev was sitting on his couch watching the news and watching him on the video and be like, why aren't you standing up for us? Why? Why are you hugging and shaking hands with a guy that just dissed your military, that just dissed your country, saying,
he said
you
about
know,
his country. He said, no, it's going to be no. Canada will never be the 51st state.
but the way
Right
that
to
he
his
says
face.
it,
Right to his face.
I just don't agree the way that he said it.
But
So.
he did it the professional way, not to get into a fight, not to argue, but he did it the professional way, saying it's never going to happen.
Well, that's the difference between my thinking and his.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I would have had the attitude of Ukraine.
Yeah.
I would like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are you dissing me, dissing my clothes, dissing my country?
He wanted to start a fight.
Well, it's time to start a fight. I think it's time to start a fight with the U.S. And
No.
we are. We're trying to with these tariff wars. Look at Doug Ford. He's not going to put up with it anymore.
No, he's planning to turn off the power. He can turn the power off.
Yeah.
Since
I want him to.
Since we supply the power to the states, and the guy.
Yeah.
And we don't owe $200 million to subsidize the states at all.
Yeah.
It's more like 100, like maybe half of that.
Right.
Or a quarter, 30 billion, whatever. But
do you think our economy is getting better though? Or is it got a long ways to go?
It is. It's okay right now. We still have a little bit ways to go and everything like that, but not tariffs. I don't look forward to the tariff. I don't think the tariffs are stupid. I think Canada pays a lot of money on stuff. We pay an extra $1,000 on a cell phone, an extra how many thousands of dollars on a car?
Yeah, isn't it like $10 to make a cell phone? The Apple,
Yeah.
and then they're selling it for $1,200 or
$1,500. 17 in the States, 15 here, and other. The 256 is going for 17. The 512 is going for 12.
Right.
2032, and the 1 terabyte the 1 terabyte's going for close to what 2,300. So
yeah. Well, when I saw that video, like I was actually wondering if it was true. Like, it's $10 to make a cell phone, but they're charging us $1,500 to $2,000, whichever it is, for a new cell phone. So that's more than like 95% or 90% profit.
No, they're making
lots
of money.
Like that's, like that's getting ridiculous.
It's always been like that. It's always cell phone. It's always been the buyer of a cell phone. That's how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
But if you're on contract, it's still going to cost you. It's going to cost you on a contract. It's going to cost you the price of cell phone plus an extra $400 on the cell phone through the contract.
Do you think Trump is going to put a tariff on the cell phone?
Yeah. So he wants to put a tariff on Apple. Wow.
He wants to put a tariff on Apple.
Yeah, he wants to put a tariff on Apple cell phones. Yeah.
Wow.
But Apple,
a 25% tariff.
Yeah. But Apple saying no. We're going to start building our cell phones in India.
Isn't it true that he's getting another impeachment?
What, the sixth one? Yeah.
When did that come about? A couple days ago?
A few days ago, yeah. They won it. Their last.
Who is that? Congress?
Congress, yeah. Not Congress. No, it was Democrats.
And what? So what's the plan there?
Don't know yet. So Congress won't do nothing because Mike Johnson will not do it.
That's the thing. What's going on?
Congress is run by Republicans, not Democrats. Republicans know what they're doing anyway, so they're looking at the country as just basically, I don't care, do it, let him do anything he wants.
So it doesn't matter how many times we impeach the president.
No,
Mike will stop it.
Mike Johnson will stop it.
Yeah,
because Mike Johnson is third in command. Trump doesn't know that yet, but he is third in command.
Who's third in command? Mike?
Mike Johnson's third
in command. Who's first?
President of the United States. Second is Vance.
But so if the president is first, then how is Mike his boss?
Mike Johnson holds all the power in Congress.
Okay.
He's the one who makes the deal. He makes the decision to go on to war.
Hmm.
He could.
So wouldn't he be first, and then the presidency is third,
It's supposed to be that way, but it's supposed
but
to be
written
that,
on paper?
yeah, it's supposed to be that way. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, but it's not. But no,
Wow.
Congress has the right to go to war.
Hmm.
If another country did something to the states and everything, then president can't just say, "Oh, we're going to go to war." No,
Right.
there has to be votes. There has to be
Mhm.
votes. Congress has the third final say in the war part.
Right.
If they don't read the Constitution, because they're not, Trump is not Trump is not doing what the Constitution does. He's making his own decisions.
What do you think? What do you think the U.S. is going to look like in 3 years?
In 3 years,
Because his year is half over, isn't it? He's on his 6th month now, isn't he?
no, he's only been in power for 3 months. He's only been. He
I
goes
thought he
starting
was
his
on his
fourth.
6th month now. Isn't he on
What
his
is it?
sixth
What is it?
month?
What is it? It's
Oh no, he took office in January.
yeah, January, February,
So February,
March,
March, April. We're on the 4th month.
Yeah, 4th month.
May.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
In 3 years, what states it's going to be? I would say the way that they're doing it, it's going to be probably it's going to turn back, and it's going to turn back in the 1940s. It's got to be nothing. It's going to change a lot.
Right.
There's going to be more people starving, looking for money. The rich are going to get richer.
What do you think the poverty line is at now with Trump in charge? Like the
Very
poverty.
bad.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Have you seen the stats yet or anything?
His stats are
Like
very.
recently or at least?
I've heard. I've seen him a little bit. His stats are like below 50. They're like going below 20 right now.
Below 20. What do you mean by that?
20%.
20% of poverty.
Yeah.
So there's only 20% Americans in poverty.
No, it's not 20% of Americans in poverty. It's more like about 85% people are in poverty right now.
Mm. Now I'm
his
wondering how many of that
popularity is
85% voted for Trump though.
But his popularity is down to like maybe 50 and 20% his popularity.
Yeah. Now I just saw a video yesterday that they're trying to vote Polyev into his seat. Turn that off, please. Thank you. Because he won 143 or 145 seats in the House of Commerce, like in the Parliament.
Yeah.
So now I only caught a piece of it. I don't know if he's trying to vote his seat in as leader. You know what I mean?
He can be a leader, but he can't be. He can be a leader for his own party, but he can't be main party. No MP at all. He's an MP, but he's a different MP. He's not.
But that's what I mean is that I think they're trying to vote him into Parliament.
Yeah,
vote him back into Parliament to join those 143 seats.
Yeah, because right
leader.
Yeah, right now, the leaders of the Native communities are speaking up right now. And
they should.
Yeah, they are. They're saying
they should. The bill 59 or 69 or something.
If you guys want to separate, blah blah blah, you're not. They're putting their 2 cents in too.
Put that toy away, please. Sorry, my son is
playing
and it's not playtime right now. It's his quiet time. Anyways, go ahead.
No, but the Native community, all the chiefs and elders and everything like that are throwing their 2 cents in. They don't want to split apart. They don't want to be leaving their country.
But and they have a right to say that.
They have a right to say
they shouldn't. Huh? The natives deserve. The native people deserve their land. Yeah, they shouldn't be forced out
Alberta,
because
this is Alberta land. Alberta, this is their land. So nobody.
We have Treaty 6. We have Treaty. I don't know all the treaties. Sorry, but I know about Treaty 6 because it's always mentioned in hockey and at church and stuff like that I go to. So I know about Treaty 6. There's other treaties too that belong in Alberta, and they should remain in Alberta. Why should they flee?
They're not going to flee. They're staying in Alberta.
No, but I'm saying why do they need to flee? Because of this Bill 69 or the
54.
The Bill 50.
Oh, they had it in their hands. This is what they think of Bill 54. They threw it on the ground. They said no.
Oh no, Bill 51.
Bill 51. They
threw it on the ground.
Yeah, they threw it in the grass. No, you guys can go. We'll stay.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
And you know what? I agree with that.
Oh yeah, so do I. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Native people. There's so many Native families out there that are fighting, and I give them props for it. You know what I mean? I would, if I was them, I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the Native people have brought so much. They have brought so much culture to this province and other provinces, especially in the Northwest Territories.
Yeah.
And in the Yukon. Like the Yukon existed with the natives, and then the Yukon, and then
the Inuits, huh? And the Inuits.
Well, they're still native. They're still a form of natives. The Inuit people, yeah.
Inuits, yeah.
Métis, Inuit, yeah. Blackfoot, Cree,
I'm part Blackfoot.
Are you? Really?
Yeah, I'm supposed to. My niece, when you met in Colorado, in Miss, was it where we just were a couple weeks ago, told me I'm half Blackfoot. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Half?
Not half. I have a bit of Blackfoot in me. So
a bit of Blackfoot.
Blackfoot. I'm supposed to be.
Are you sure you didn't put the Blackfoot up your ass or something?
I don't know.
And say that you have a little bit in you?
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but I don't know if it's true or not. So, but anyway, it was all the bands have got they're getting together, and they're saying no to 51 bill, and they say they're telling Daniel Smith, no, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be selling Alberta. No, period, nothing.
Yeah.
No, it's not going to be. It's not going to be. It's not going to be part of the states at all. Nothing. They have final say. So
yeah. And then this AISH program. Did you hear about that?
No.
They don't want to raise the benefits for AISH.
Oh, they always do that. They always say,
"Oh no." They had a big rally.
Oh, really?
They had a big rally yesterday or the day before, of so many AISH clients that were in wheelchairs with severely handicapped disabilities. And the organizer was a handicap and an AISH client.
Yeah.
Right? And they had a rally. They had a rally yesterday, or the day before yesterday. I can't. It was in the past two. It was just recent now, and they are wanting the benefits to be raised because the thing is that inflation and the affordability of housing, a lot of them can't even work.
Oh yeah,
and this wheelchair person, this person in a wheelchair, she was saying on she was saying on social media with her sister, because her sister helps her with social media. She's like, I think I'm going to have to be forced to work, and I can't even work. I can't even move my arms. I can't move my legs. I'm in an immobilized wheelchair. You know what I mean? Then it's coming to the fact that I might have to go work for extra money just to make my bills, because the top amount for AISH is $1,901. $1,901.
That should be up to the that should be up to the starters. But people with major problems should get more.
And I support that.
Oh yeah.
Like, how are they supposed to make a living if they can't even move a muscle?
Yeah, they should get more, or else they should be allowed to move in somewhere that has cheaper rent.
They should have, if you're on the AISH program.
Yeah.
If you are on the AISH program, you should automatically qualify
for as much as they can give you, man.
The cheapest subsidy rent that the province can offer you.
I would say they shouldn't be able to pay rent.
Huh?
They shouldn't have to pay rent.
They shouldn't have to pay rent.
No,
how are they, like, you know what I mean? Like, their checks should be going straight to their living, to their food, to their bills, and to their medical.
Takes care of them. Yeah, medical, and whoever takes care of them.
Yeah. They shouldn't have to worry about paying rent.
No, they shouldn't have to pay rent. People who are on AISH who have major problems that are in wheelchairs, that can't move a muscle, they shouldn't have to pay rent. They should be
or they're in like
free living,
like a stroller kind of thing that, like, they're moving around on their own. but they can't do anything. They barely can walk, let alone do anything else.
Well, they should have free living then. Oh, if they're okay, okay, but okay, what their money gives them, they should be more subsidized. So the place they get should be automatically paid for the job, but not shown on their bills.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
did you know that they only get $400 worth of medical care?
Really?
$400, and the finance minister had said that we are the most top province in all of Canada for the AISH program. And it's like, I thought AISH was Alberta.
It's supposed to be Alberta, yeah.
Not BC, not Saskatchewan, not Manitoba. They have probably their own disability programs and stuff like that. But I always thought that AISH was just Alberta. And I believe it is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. $1,900 a month, and that's including their medical cost. So without their medical, right, is what I understood it from what the finance minister said, is they're only getting $1,500.
That's not right, man. That's not right.
$1,500 a month for their rent and for their bills. That's it. And $400 for medical. How is that going to pay for their nurse or their personal assistant nurse, like their care nurse or whatever, who's helping them take a shower, eat, feeding them, you know what I mean, putting them to bed, like a full-time live-in, or their full-time nannies or live-in healthcare nurses or whatever it is. That $400 doesn't pay that.
That's not even a month's rent. That's not even that's like
that's like a part-time freaking less than 15 hours a week health aid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this country needs to see those types of issues and do something about it in a positive way.
They don't see any types of
how is it an AISH client's fault that they have a disability like that? A severely handicapped disability. How is it their fault? As a Canadian, they should be able to be provided for from our government.
Oh yeah,
because they were born like that. They didn't it wasn't their fault or their say on if they were handicapped or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, even if they weren't born like that, they got into an accident, they had an accident, and now they're paralyzed, or they have a mental disability, a severely handicapped mental disability because of of an incident that happened in their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it was from another person or from a certain action that happened.
Yeah.
They should fall under those lines now too. Maybe not before their accident, but now they can't do anything because of what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
That was out of their hands.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, some people take advantage of the AISH program and everything like that. Some people don't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get that. Yeah, I understand that. You know? But, and then also here's the other thing though too, is that the child tax benefit, you know, that needs to be raised. I know it's based off of income. I get that, but it needs to be raised.
Yeah, I think yeah, okay. Was it each child gets so much monthly? I think the parents should they do use it. They should scroll the way in their bank accounts and like that.
Mm-hmm.
But only use it for the kids. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it should be raised up a few dollars and like that. A few dollars.
Well, the cost of raising little kids.
Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah.
It's so expensive.
Uh-huh.
I'm not talking about a 16-year-old.
No.
I'm not talking about a 17-year-old, because those types of kids have the option to go and get a job.
Yeah.
To get a part-time job at like McDonald's or something after school.
Actually, they say when you have a child, it should, from the time the baby's born until he's 18, it should cost the parents about $1 million each. $1 million.
Wow.
You start to save money for.
I don't make $1 million a year.
I know, yeah.
I don't make $1 million a year.
No, our laws on health are totally weird. So
And they're telling us that we're the highest in the country. Alberta's the highest.
no, the province is the highest. We're not the highest. The people, the province is the highest, yes. But in oil and everything, but we don't see a piece of that. That's the government sees it. That's the people. The people don't see nothing like that.
Yeah.
You don't see people getting $1 million a month as our province makes how many billions of dollars in oil.
Mm-hmm.
So it all goes down. It all goes to all our money. What we make in Alberta all gets shipped down to Quebec, and they divvy it all out. What they keep the most. We get the little trails and everything out of it, and
They
that's
get
why
sent
we're
down to Quebec?
yeah. We all our money gets shipped to Quebec. Yeah,
Why?
because we always ship money to Quebec because they're the leaders,
Hmm.
and they have all the money. That's why.
Is that why the lottery is always won in like Ontario and Quebec?
Oh yeah, because they have all
Like
the people.
most of the
Yeah,
time?
yeah. The lottery yesterday was won in Ontario.
No, we're still at 80 million. I looked at it.
649 for the Lotto Max, yes, but the other one,
Oh, 649.
649, was won in Ontario.
And it's how many times does it get won in Ontario?
A lot.
And Ontario's bitching about finances?
Oh, always.
Come on.
Yeah, but no, seriously, all the money.
Every week there's $100 million is won each and every practically. Let's say 95% of the time, $100 million goes to Ontario through lottery winnings. $100 million each and every week.
Yeah.
95% of the time.
No,
Like
no.
Edmonton gets it like maybe 2% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Alberta gets it 2% of the time as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of nerve wracking to see how much money does go to the eastern part of Canada.
Oh, a lot.
You know what I mean? Like billions of dollars a year.
Lots of money. Yeah.
Billions of dollars a year.
What was it? What was there? Our beginning of the year was 100. No, it was last year. Was $180 billion. What the? And they're discussing they have the money all the time.
Well, Poilievre said that in Toronto there's a lot of lineups at the food bank.
Mm-hmm.
But what types of people? What type of Canadian people are in the lineup of the food bank? A lot of them are from disabilities.
You're talking yes, and when you're talking mostly, and plus foreign people are foreigners that come over here. They just got over here and they want a place to eat. They want food and they go to the food bank.
And they're doing it, but they're also, and it's been proven that they are hard workers. They're following the rules.
Yeah.
They're not being sneaky. They're not being under the table or whatever. As far as
you sure about that?
As far as we know.
Have you ever sat at a food bank and watched what they drive coming into the food bank?
Have you?
Yeah. I have seen a Saudi woman have her 2 kids in the vehicle, getting groceries, and she's driving a 2025 brand new Dodge Caravan.
That's a Caravan, though. I thought you were going to say like a BMW or something.
I've seen them drive them too.
Yeah, but a Caravan's like a $50,000 vehicle. That's an average price.
80 million. It's 80,000.
No,
$80,000 vehicle.
I have a Caravan, and it only cost us for.
And how old is yours?
$47,000.
And how old?
It's only a 4 years old.
Yeah.
And this
I've seen people drive up with BMW.
But how do you know that it's actually their vehicle, not a friend's vehicle?
Oh, it's hard to say.
You don't know that it's their actual owned vehicle. It could be. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just also thinking about the other side of the table. It could be they could have gotten it from a neighbor, or they could have gotten it from a really good friend of theirs, saying, "Hey, we need a vehicle. We don't have a vehicle to bring the food home, the food back. Can we borrow yours?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it could be theirs.
Yeah.
But it could not be theirs.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure. The way that it looks like, it looks. It doesn't look all that pleasing if you're going to the food bank and showing up in a freaking Lamborghini Countach. You know what I mean? To pick up food bank food, but you know what I mean. We don't know the situation.
No.
I can't judge them by their vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't have the right to judge them for their vehicle. If they're showing up in a BMW, well, then they're showing up in a BMW. We don't know once they get home. They're like, thanks, Cheryl, for letting me use your vehicle. Thanks a lot. You know what I mean? It meant a lot. We got our food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know that. We don't know. We're not following them to their house.
Around where I live, where I got the boardwalk area and everything like that. And I don't know how much rent is there, but they're driving expensive vehicles and everything there all the time.
How do you know it's a lease? Leasing
a
vehicle right now is cheaper than financing.
Yeah, but who's the lease do a lease on a family that
students are leasing vehicles right now.
Incomes are very low.
Students are leasing vehicles right now. They're leasing vehicles because it's only on a 2 to 3 year term, because their schooling is in a 2 to 3 year term. Their maximum, most of the classes that I've been on the websites for, their maximum is like around 4 years, 3 to 4 years, if they're doing the maximum student race. Right now, they are leasing them because it's actually a lot cheaper. Because after their lease is done, the company asks them, well, do you want to trade it in and get a different lease, or do you want to keep it and pay a higher rate? And if you're going to keep it, they're going to raise the rate because you're still in the same vehicle that you were before, and it's devalued the vehicle. So they have to raise the amount.
Yeah.
Normally, most of the time, the student is like, okay, no, I'll get a different vehicle. You know what I mean? And then they're seen in like I don't know, like a freaking SUV of some sort. You know what I mean? I see where you're coming from. I see your point. It could very well be that they are buying these expensive vehicles and stuff like that, and that they're going to the food bank in these expensive vehicles, but we're not following them home.
No.
We don't know for sure if it's their vehicle or someone else's vehicle. And if it is your vehicle, well then obviously there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Obviously they're doing. What if they're doing it for someone else? Someone that doesn't have an Alberta healthcare card. Because when you go to the food bank, you have to show your healthcare card. What if they're doing it for someone else? They're picking up food. They're not supposed to. Yeah, they're not supposed to, right?
Yeah.
And that's one way of working around the politics and stuff like that. And I don't agree with it, but it could happen that a family of 3 got food for a family of 2 or a family of 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't know. And it sucks that if it's happening that way, because that person may not have a health care card and they're out of options and they're out of food. You know what I mean? So they're like, okay, well, my buddy has 4 children and a wife, but they're not having food problems. Maybe they can help me. Maybe they can go to the food bank for me.
Yeah.
And then they show up at my place and I got a whole shitload of food that'll last me a month and a half. You know what I mean? I would do that. I would. I'm sorry, but I would. I would help somebody out for food-wise. I'd rather help them out with the food situation than drinking
or drugs.
Yeah. And if that's shame on me, well then I'm sorry, it's shame on me. I'm helping someone get food in their tummies.
Yeah, true.
Rather than getting them drunk or high or stoned, whatever the case may be. You know, and that's the way things are right now. You know, no matter what way we're rooting it or whatever,
spark it up.
You know what I mean? Like, how would you do that type of situation? Would you go around the government and help somebody else out rather than seeing them getting high or stoned or drunk? Or would you just stay within the rules and just be like, hey, I'll go by myself as a single person because you're a single person? Or if you had kids, would you do it as a family? What would you do?
That's a hard one to say.
Or do you have no comment?
No comment on that one. I don't really know what to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. It's really to the point where you don't know. Because every scenario, every situation is different.
Oh yeah.
It really is.
Yes.
And to this day, the way things are going, if someone needs help food wise,
Mm-hmm.
I'll do what I can.
Yeah.
What am I? What, you're gonna arrest me because I manipulated the system over 3 people for groceries to put food on someone's table?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least they're not drunk.
Mm-hmm.
At least they're not stoned or high. At least it's not fentanyl, Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come
Never
on
know.
now. It's, you know.
Mm-hmm. But
Oh, and I just got reminded we have another live on location coming up here.
where's that?
The Uncle Glenn's.
Oh, we've called.
Huh?
You called?
Yeah. We're gonna be scheduling a live on location.
Mm.
We're gonna do a live on location for to Uncle Glenn's. He's actually Uncle Glenn has actually been in the business for about 40 years or more, at the same location, same spot, and he's a peanut bar, which means that he has free peanuts and you can make a mess all over the floor of peanut shells
As
because
long
he's a
as you buy
peanut.
alcohol and beer
Yeah,
and food,
yeah. So
come sit on peanuts.
we're gonna go to his location and meet Mr. Glenn himself, or Uncle Glenn, and
Okay.
oh,
That's
sorry, and meet Uncle Glenn there and take a tour of his pub and sit down and talk to him and get his point of view on his entrepreneurship as a bar owner for however many years.
Bar and restaurant.
No, it's not a restaurant. It's just a bar.
It used to be a restaurant because I remember going for pizza there.
Yeah,
As a
maybe it
kid.
is. Maybe it is. I haven't been there in years, but it'd be a good place to see and figure out the ins and outs and not his trade secrets because that's for him to know and people to find out or not know kind of
Mhm.
thing. But no, he's obviously doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's been in the
Mhm.
business for that
Mhm.
many years,
Mhm.
and
It's always
he's a
busy.
very nice guy.
Mhm.
Treat him with respect, and he'll treat you with respect. And you know, he's just like any other person that you get under his skin, watch out, kind of thing. You know,
Mhm.
just like any other person. So, but I'm really looking forward to Stetler Fest. I looked on it online. They got a lot of stuff happening. You know, for such a small town, it's 4 blocks worth
Mhm.
of exhibition, like for people selling their stuff. So
Yeah.
you know,
Their wares.
and they have a pretty big brewery. You know, and there's a lot of stuff going on there too.
Didn't know
So
Stellar had a brewery there.
yeah, there's a brewery there, and then there's that steam engine train
Mhm.
with they call it the robbery shows, and whatever money that they get from those shows goes to charity. So I think
Mhm.
that's a good idea too. You know, and you get a feel of the West. You get a feel of what it was like back in the day. You know,
Okay.
why you don't agree?
I don't know about that, but the West part.
Well, they're dressed up as cowboys,
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
you know what I mean. They're robbing the train, and so to
Mhm.
speak, and you know, and all the money that they collect goes to charity. But back
Mhm.
in the West, they just rob the train. They just go for it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
So, what do you think is going to happen in the next couple months?
Here,
What do you think Carney's what plan do you think he's going to enforce in the next couple of months
the
with the
vehicle
attitude?
he's doing the vehicle. Anything beyond 2,000.
Is that true?
That's what he's doing. I don't know yet. So anything behind 2,000, he's not. They're not going to do anymore.
Like they're not going to allow on the roads
Yeah.
anymore or something?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He has that much power to do that?
The prime minister does have that much power. Yes.
So if I'm driving a 1969 Ford Mustang, fully restored and customized, he's going to take it off the road.
Block it.
Uh, I don't think
put it under
that he's going to
plastic.
have a lot of
Angry people.
problems with that.
Oh yeah,
Because there's a lot of people out there that have
older vehicles. Oh,
older
yeah.
vehicles, vintage. I understand if it's a rusted bucket of bolts and it's just like surviving off of thin threads and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so you know what I mean. Like I understand that, but if you put money into it and stuff like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Patrick, go sit down and play, please. Um, you know it. I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah,
And if it does, there's going to be a lot of protesting
oh yeah.
because we have car shows.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and that's what Stetlerfest has too. We're going to be, they're going to put us next to the car show.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're there, we get to take a look at the old vehicles and stuff like that from back in the day. Remember that museum that we went to?
Yeah.
The what's it called? Oh man, I can't remember the name.
I can't remember the name either.
It's just outside of Edmonton,
yeah.
and it's a museum for cars, boats, planes, old farming equipment and stuff like that. Like
Planes, everything.
yeah, and we went there. We didn't even finish the whole tour.
No, we only did half. We only did the vehicle side. We didn't do the rest of it.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah.
We need to go back there and do more of the tour. So, but anyways, with that said, you know, on behalf of us at the Cigars, Beer, and Whiskey Show, we'd like to thank you for joining us. And let's do a mental thought. You know, food for thought. Like, where do you want to see Canada in the next 4 years with Mark Carney at the helm? And we want to hear your thoughts. We want to read your messages, things like that, and let us know. And again, on August 9th, we're going to be at Stetlerfest in Stettler, Alberta. We're going to be there signing autographs. We're going to be there taking pictures, talking about our show, things like that. And I'm working on getting our merchandise there. Mm-hmm. So getting some merchandise there for sale. Mm-hmm. And possibly some raffles as well. So, yeah. Other than that, I think that should do it for this week's episode of the Cigars, Beer, and Whiskey Show. I am Sebby D, your host.
Cass, how you doing?
And you guys be safe. Take care. And
God bless.
Safe travels.
True. Mm-hmm.